Hi everybody, it's me, Bert, 200 pounds 1 year. Just got to week 3 of my contest prep, so there's 12 weeks remaining, and today was volume day. Switched things up a little bit with my low bar, with the paused low bar squats. I'm trying squatting in flats this time around. It actually went pretty well. Like everything felt pretty smooth about it. The only major difference that I noticed is I got significantly more of a back pump when doing it, but knees felt great and everything mechanically felt great. There was a few reps where I noticed that coming out of the hole I was more forward than I should be, but that's probably because I'm still used to squatting in an elevated heel. But yeah, today's squats actually felt easier than last week's despite being heavier. So that's always pretty good, and I really made sure to sync it for depth. So I don't seem to have any difficulty achieving depth in flat shoes with the wide stance, which is good, because I don't want to get red lights on the platform. I actually got kind of a lot of volume in today. I got 4 drop sets done for the low bar squats, and that was with me going relatively light on the deload. I think I used a 6% deload when the protocol for the drop sets is 6 to 9%. So I went on the heavier end of it just because of how easy the top set for this week went. All of these felt really good. Pretty much no knee pain at all, which is good, because the last thing I need is another bout of knee aids. So yeah, getting in and out of the hole, sinking it into depth, pausing it briefly at the bottom. Yep. Pretty much just solid work on all the sets, which felt really good. As I start to tire down, there is more of that hip shooty thing, but that pretty much makes sense. That's expected form breakdown when fatigue sets in, and with as many sets as I got in, form breakdown was pretty much to be expected. Get to the next set. Eventually I end up actually lowering the supports because I realized that I was tiptoeing to get up and out of the rack. I think I actually ended up doing that for the last set. The only real issue that came up today was the amount of people that wanted to walk in front of the camera. It was kind of a busy morning, which was legitimately surprising, because usually Mondays aren't too busy until like the evening, at which point every bro in the world is in there to get their bench work in. That's apparently not even a joke at my gym. Monday is definitely International Bench Day. So lots of bench bros. Now we're getting to the last set, which again I'm doing that whole facing away from the rack thing, forcing me to back into the rack when I'm done. But I've lowered the supports on this set because it finally clicked in my head, and the set also went pretty well. Bye, little old lady. As we can see, I'm definitely hitting depth. I'm not pausing quite as long as I probably should at first because, again, I'm tired, and my ability to count to 2 in my head seems to kind of go away when fatigue sets in. I'm just going to chalk that up to squat brain. I don't know if anyone else has experienced that particular phenomenon, but I describe squat brain as the inability to do things with numbers after performing squats. Happens to me a lot, actually. So yeah, then we moved on to the pause bench press. Again, I'm back in the flat shoes instead of the elevated heels. I noticed that I was getting a tendency to lift my butt up off the bench when things got heavy, and I'm guessing part of that is due to the already elevated heel, so when attempting to use leg drive, I'm already pushing up. So these actually felt pretty good today. I should probably explain the wrist wrap thing. So I still haven't ordered my replacement wrist wraps. I think I'm going to end up going with one of the pairs from Inzer, mostly because they're the cheapest and they're IPF approved. If anyone knows a cheaper IPF approved wrist wrap than the Inzer Iron Z's, please let me know. I don't really need a lot of support. It's just my right wrist is a little squicky. There's a little bit of pain there. I think that's a leftover from a bicycle wreck that I had on a bike trail once. Important tip: if you're bicycling, pay attention to the trail that you're on, because you might accidentally run out of trail and try to go tumbling down the side of the trail. It's a bad idea. Don't do that. Yeah, I realized after the first couple work sets that I was not using leg drive at all, and so on the last couple drop sets, I really emphasized getting leg drive in there. So let it sink, and then engage the movement by, flaring and driving my legs. So you see the little bit of a bump of my legs kicking in, and that actually made the last couple sets a lot easier. Pretty good on the pauses. Not too much trouble. My shoulders seem to be staying relatively tight, which is good because that's something that I've been trying to drill for a little while now. Now we get to the deficit deadlifts. I was tired of trying to deadlift on the stupid hex plates, so while technically making things harder for myself by adding an extra inch of deficit, I have a much more comfortable platform. And I still hate hex plates, but they are what I have to work with until I can find an alternative. These actually went pretty well. I'm a little sloppy in my pulls on the top set again. As a point of pride though, all of these, except for the very last rep of the 330 set, were double overhand. On the last rep I had to switch to hook. And then on the 2 drop sets I did, those were all entirely double overhand. This one, I just kind of banged these reps out, and it shows because there's pretty much no technique there. It's just retard ripping it off the floor. And while that felt pretty good for just general speed, the back pump that resulted was not optimal, and the scared looks I got from Darren, the trainer there, were kind of funny. Still, double overhand, decent speed, everything is groovy. And then on this set, I focused much more on having better position, and still double overhand because I could. And as you can see, these pulls are a lot less retarded. My back is much more neutral. I'm pulling some more of the slack out of the bar, thanks internet yelling guy. My positioning, pretty much everything about it feels a lot better. And admittedly, 315 is kind of baby weight, I guess, but with the deficits and the increased inch, I don't know, I'm kind of okay with it. And usually I only get one extra set of drop set one drop set in on any of the deficit work. So getting 2 sets of drop work actually was kind of nice. And without feeling like I just broke myself doing it. Close grip bench, more of the same. So getting in pretty tight, and enjoying my touch and go bench, and a little bit too much leg drive with the butt coming up again. Didn't actually notice that until going over the footage. I thought I was still pretty well plastered to the bench, but I was apparently mistaken. While doing these, I was also tinkering with my foot location, seeing if maybe having them further out ahead of me would give better leg drive instead of doing basically sumo bench. And I'm not 100% on that. I think it worked pretty well, and I noticed on the drop sets that there isn't as much butt coming up, but that could also just be the byproduct of me swapping the shoes out. So there was Volume Day in a nutshell. Please remember to like, comment, or subscribe if you want more. And here is some of my autism. Have fun. Bye bye.